My name is Nathaniel Cunningham, and welcome back to a new era pro wrestling superstar spotlight. Again, if you have not followed our podcast, Chasing the Dream, you can follow us on all of our platforms on Instagram, on our link tree, or look on our Facebook, and all the links are posted below. But today, I have the pleasure to sit with.
Hi, I'm Kayla Marcico, or otherwise known as Kay LaRae.
Kay in both. Easy name to remember, right?
Yeah, wanted to keep it simple.
Let's talk about your training so far and your time at New Era. So, how long have you been training so far?
Let's see. About a little over a year and a half now, I think.
How has it gone for you in the sense of wrestling? Because you were training to become a wrestler first, and then a situation happened, which we'll touch on. And then you went from wrestling to ring announcing to possibly being a manager. You were kind of all over the place. So let's dive in the wrestling part first. Like, how was taking bumps for you, or learning chain, or any of that?
At first, it was really nerve-wracking. I had come from an athletic background, but then just over the years, I've had health issues. I had my son, and I was very nervous to get into the ring. I was nervous I wouldn't be able to keep up, and it was such an amazing feeling to know that first practice that I could do these things. This wasn't out of reach for me.
Right. And on a side note, too, you also came into New Era in a weird, strange, kind of amazing way, because your husband, John, he asked us for Mother's Day, would we open the center so he can bring you here for you to get in the ring? What was that feeling like?
So he had asked about trying to get me into a training, He was worried. He knew that I was worried about doing this in front of other people because I felt really insecure about my weight and just being able to keep up. So when he told me that that was my Mother's Day gift, I felt seen because he knew I wanted to get in shape and he knows that I like to do things, not just go to the gym. And we love wrestling. That's kind of been our big bonding thing. So to know that he really went out of his way to ask you to make sure that he could do it for me. And we had that one-on-one training. That was an amazing feeling. And I felt so seen, so loved, and I felt really empowered by it too.
That's amazing, because when you first came in and then you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. Like, my weight, like, you did fucking amazing the first day you walked in. And then what was it like transitioning from kind of a quote unquote private class to then a class setting with other peers that you had no idea who they were? Well, what was that like?
I think you did a really great job of setting up the rules and boundaries, knowing that everyone here is treated equally and there's to be, no bullying, nothing being said about each other. So that created a safe space. But then just knowing that all of these people who are coming into the business also feel this kind of same way, at least the people that are coming into our classes. It wasn't about judgment. Everyone just wants to do the same thing. We all love wrestling. We all want to be a part of it. So there's no judgment. It's more encouragement.
Right, right. And you come from a good background to have in pro wrestling, which was a background in theater. How long have you done theater, and why has it been so easy for you, such as promos or getting in front of a crowd? Like, how is that transition from theater to pro wrestling for you?
So I have loved theater forever, especially musical theater. I actually was a theater major at one point. I did singing lessons. So speaking in front of a crowd is actually, at first, I thought it was going to be harder than singing in front of a crowd because I did musicals, I did theater. So, like, yeah, I had to talk in front of a crowd, but not in this capacity, more singing. So at first, I was really nervous about it, but it came so naturally to me that I felt like, wow, this is another thing that I can just kind of do. Like, who knew?
Now, what was more nerve wracking, singing in front of people or getting in the ring in front of people for the first time?
Definitely getting in the ring.
Really?
Really. I think because singing, you kind of just go to the middle of the stage and you kind of just stand there and you sing your song, whatever. You have music, you have all these things. Now, when you're getting into the ring and like ring announcing, I have an entrance song. I didn't think about my entrance song until I think literally a few days before my first ring announcement. And then just, how am I going to interact with the crowd? How is the crowd going to receive me? Are they going to like me? Are they going to hate me? And then it's all about your presence of getting into the ring. Because obviously we're taught how to get into the ring, but how would Kay LaRae get into it? Like, is she confident? Is she nervous? And it was amazing to feel that confidence. Even though I've had it in practice, I've had it in this, being in a show, it's something different. And the crowd just really amps you up in a different way that I didn't expect.
Now, I personally would think that singing would be a little more nerve wracking because you're the only one there. Everyone kind of is judging you per se on your singing ability. I feel like I would be more nervous singing because they know wrestling's a show. It's a performance. It's entertainment. But you also had a gymnastics background, which made it super easy for you to take bumps and everything. So like, how is that translated from a background such as that to wrestling?
So it had been a while since I did gymnastics, but I did it when I was younger. And then I did cheerleading, which then tied it all together. And then I just did a lot of it on my own. Like it wasn't as much like I stayed on the team in school or anything because unfortunately my mom couldn't really afford to keep up with like not only paying for like just like the fees, but then paying for the uniforms, paying to go to competitions, paying for, all these different things. But I kept on it in my own and it helped me stay flexible and athletic to a point. But then, as you know, when you become an adult and you have responsibilities, it becomes harder to do those things.
Right.
At first, I didn't think it was going to help that much, but so much just muscle memory kicked in while we were doing, especially how to keep my own body safe.
Exactly. And it kind of does translate. Like they do say, like a lot of D1 athletes do wrestle. Some make it, some don't. That's great. It's easy for them at some points. Now, let's talk about your knee because your knee hasn't always been your best friend, especially when you talk about wrestling. What's going on with your knee now?
So, a few months ago, I hurt my knee during a practice. It sucked. Would not recommend. Um, I have a high sitting patella, which causes my knee to dislocate very easily, which it's dislocated in the past. Not a big deal. I have like a day or two of rest. I'm back at it. Not a problem. But this time, it took me a few weeks to even be able to fully walk on it normally.
Yeah, you're in a lot of pain.
Yeah, it sucked.
Is your personal preference now with the knee issue? Would you still want to wrestle or would you more tap in the role as a manager at this point?
I I think I wanna dabble in both.
Okay.
I don't think that I will be a wrestler full time or for a very long time, but I think I wanna give it that shot. I think it would be a disservice to me to not at least try to take that chance, and especially now that we've gone over safety measures, we're checking my knee, I'm wearing braces, I'm doing all the things that need to be done, and I feel good. Especially you made sure that I was feeling safe, making sure that I wasn't having any issues before we sort of revisited it, but we wanted to take that time. And I think now is the time to really get back into it.
I absolutely agree with you. I think it would be a disservice, especially with your abilities that you can do in this ring against other female competitors or even male competitors. So now for everyone that doesn't watch the product, because we do have kind of your debut coming up in I'd say a fucked up way. How would you describe LaRae now to someone that doesn't know the product?
I think LaRae is very determined. I think she's willing to do whatever it takes to get where she wants to be. But that being said, I think she truly believes what she's doing is best for this business. It may come off as selfish, but she doesn't really care that it looks that way. She knows in her being that she's doing what needs to be done.
Okay. And that's great to have because you were just announced as Sylvie Jade's assistant GM. So what has that been like now, being more of an on-screen role instead of just a ring announcer?
It's been busy. It has been a lot of planning, a lot of talking, a lot of just learning even more about this business. Like you always think, oh, I know enough. And then it's like, oh, there's more to learn. Oh, even more after that. And things are always changing in this world and you're meeting new people. And I think that has been really fun. And I think it helps me not only in a wrestling capacity, but I think just as a person in general. I think it has made me better. I think it's making LaRae better. I think this this has been a really great opportunity and a great learning curve for her.
Absolutely. And now we're obviously going to sit down after the storyline develops because I do want to hear your next side of LaRae because she's also going to evolve again in just a couple months. So for the last thing before this episode wraps up, if there's one piece of advice you can give yourself now before that storyline starts, what would it be?
Don't let haters get you down. Do what needs to be done.
Exactly. Don't let haters get you down. Thank you for sitting down with me today. And this was another episode of New Era Pro Wrestling Student Superstar Spotlight.